So the White House seems to be having a bit of a conniption fit, and strangely, it's against Russia. So, and punitive tariffs that would go on Russia and countries that buy their oil and gas. This is all about Ukraine and Moscow's failing to take peace talks seriously with the Trump administration. Oddly enough, there's a report coming out as well now that the U.S. is saying, look, if they don't jump in and fix this, we're just going to walk away. So why are you threatening and then, it's so flip-floppingly stupid? Let me just get his picture up so you know who we're talking about. Yes, Donald Trump. So Senator Lindsey Graham, a key ally of Ronald Gump's, has claimed that has claimed he has enough support for a bill that aims to force Vladimir Putin into talks with Kyiv. So the proposal, it was announced on the same day that Ukraine and the U.S. signed a minerals deal, would see a 500% tariff on imports from countries that buy Russian oil, petroleum products, natural gas, or uranium. And this all kicks in if Putin fails to come to the negotiating table. So here's the quote from the senator here. The goal is to help the president, adding that the measures were bone crushing. And he's talked about being frustrated. Well, I want to negotiate the end of the war honorably and just. I think Trump's the best person to achieve that goal. Okay, you had me, buddy, but that, yeah. Come on. But he goes on to say these sanctions represent the Senate's view that we see the primary bad guy being Russia. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. The only bad guy. Anything Ukraine does to defend itself is fine in my point of view, but we'll continue. Britler said he would be making a huge mistake to try and play. Oh, no. See, the way this is written is screwing me up. So this is, again, the senator talking. He said Putin would be making a huge mistake to try and play Trump. So this bill is a tool in the president's toolbox. When President Trump believes that we've reached an impasse, then watch for action. Most members of the Senate believe that Putin has been resistant to finding a negotiation solution to the war and has been brazen and barbaric in his actions against Ukraine. Now we're on agreement again here. This guy flip-flops on me. By co-sponsoring this bill, I think a senator is making pretty clear statement that they see Russia in the Senate itself. They see Russia as the greatest offender here. Again, no shit, Sherlock. So name the Sanctioning Russia Act of 2025. The sanctions would be introduced on Russia if Moscow refuses to step to the table, violates a peace agreement, or invades Ukraine again in the future. So this is something that would stay in place for quite a while. And that sounds like it's got some pretty good teeth in it, right? I like that. Graham here, the senator again, predicts this bill will have at least 67 co-sponsors from the Senate by the end of the week. And that's enough to override a potential presidential veto. Even if Trump's against the plan, this can go through. The list of current supporters is evenly divided, but there are some that are crossing lines. Support has been boosted in recent weeks following Russian attacks on civil populations in Ukraine. No shit again. And Graham's office says the tariffs would likely have the largest impact on India, China, and Iran because they're really, buddy economically with the Russians. So the U.S.-Ukraine deal signed on the minerals is said to provide Washington with privileged access. And there's a few people saying it's almost symbolic at this point, so I'm not going to go too far into it. But it does include a reconstruction fund for Ukraine to spur Kyiv's economic recovery and a few other things that are very good and valid points. So you would have to say that I do like the tone, and I'm very appreciative of the Americans in the Senate taking this to a level that could very possibly take it out of the president's hands and force the issue. And 500% tariffs on nations that buy from Russia would have those nations second guessing their actions. So I'm a big supporter of it. I do want to just slip in really quick. Trump also started getting all chest pounding on any country or person that buys oil or petrochemicals from Iran. They will not be allowed to do any business with the U.S. Now, when he says that, I'm not really sure if he means just with the government or with businesses. Is he going to put in some kind of law that says, even Jeff Bezos and stuff is going to have to obey this? I'm not really sure. But the quote here was, any country or person who buys any amount of oil or petrochemical from Iran will be subject to immediately secondary sanctions. This was on Not Truth Social. They will not be allowed to do business with the United States and America in any way, shape, or form. So he's getting big on this stuff. He's waving them around more and more, worse and worse. And who knows what's coming next? We'll try to keep up, and hopefully you can too.
Yeah, I really can't make my mind up whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because it's coming out of Trump's mouth.
I know. Yeah. So, the thing with this with the deal with Ukraine, that's a senator and the Senate. So I'm liking where this is going, and the fact that they're going to have enough votes to make it so. Sorry to go all Jean-Luc Picard on you there. So, but this stuff with Iran, historically, getting all I'm bigger and badder than you and stuff with Iran usually leads to really nasty things happening. And I hope his schmuck ass is really thinking all this stuff through.
Wow, with all the shit going on in the world, what's one more shitty thing happening? we won't notice it.
Yeah, true enough. So what's going on over your way here? Because I don't understand this picture at all.
Wow, who does? The art world is in shock. Yes, because one of the Netherlands' most valuable paintings is now undergoing restoration after being accidentally damaged in a museum in Rotterdam. The work in question, grey, orange on maroon, a number 8, 1960 by Mark Rothko, sustained several visible scratches in its unvarnished lower paint layer. Actually, it just looks like someone's put some tester pots on there.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So the stuff that looks like a child with their Crayola water paints is the painting? Like, I thought some kid took a brush and painted over everything and made 2 blocks.
No, that's the painting. And yes,
really?
The lower paint layer was damaged when a young child brushed against it during a visit to the Depot Bojans van de Boingen, a publicly accessible art storage facility connected to the museum of the same name. I'm not going to say it again, stupid bloody name, bloody foreigners.
It looks like somebody painted over elevator out of service or something.
Yeah, I know. It's shit. The child's hand damaged it. That those incredibly damaging things. Those little soft little pinky things. It's like a claw from a velociraptor. It was a small child brushed against it. Right. So the incident happened at this depot that allows visitors to view thousands of works of art in a visible storage environment where much of the collection is accessible without the traditional exhibition barriers. To many, this feels like less than a formal gallery and more like a backstage pass to the museum's inner workings, and a space where masterpieces are visible but not always protected in the traditional sense. So, this painting, the Rothko work, was on display as featuring 70 beloved collection highlights. From Bruegel to Dali.
I didn't watch Sid Vicious's child with spikes everywhere, right?
with his mittens on. So the work by Rothko was suffered damage. A number of visible scratches can be seen in the unvarnished paint layer. Why was it unvarnished? What? Jesus Christ! All right, put it behind a sheet of glass.
It seems like it's all their fault. The child was just simply a child.
It's just waiting to be damaged. Yeah. I think there's a con behind this. I'm going to come to that.
This is an insurance claim. This is a scam, man.
Yeah, it happened because a child, in an unsupervised moment, like all children are, touched the lower part of the work. There was no intent. This was not vandalism. This is a small one. The child, reportedly under the age of 5 years old, the bastard, had simply waved a hand too close. waved a hand too close to the canvas during what the museum later called an unguarded moment. The painting has since been removed from view and transferred to the museum's conservation lab. My God, yes, we must conserve this masterpiece.
It looks like somebody covered up graffiti.
Yeah, no, well, this is not the first time it's been damaged either. A Polish man named Vladimir Umanets wrote on the black on maroon painting at the Tate Modern in London using a black ink to sign his name and added the phrase, "This is yellowism." Oh, it's funny when Banksy does it, it's art. Yeah, if someone else does it, oh no, that's
Yeah.
Humanet said his part was an art movement, and he was arrested and sent to prison for 2 years.
Whoa!
And it took 18 months and about $250,000 to repair the painting. Now, that was okay. That was the one that that he wrote on. Okay, with a Sharpie. So fair enough. But even so, apparently this painting, is worth. Where is it?
Why don't they just put glass in front of it? How stupid can you people be? This happens to you over and over again. You know,
they reckon this artwork is worth like $250,000. The one you're looking at right now is worth $250,000, and the damage that's been caused is going to be between $80,000 and $160,000 to restore it.
So just throw it out. You've got pictures.
Just go over seriously. Another pot of emotion. Come on. We're storing as involved in that.
Everybody knows
scam.
Everybody knows the story of somebody whose car's been in a fender bender. It doesn't look that bad, and the insurance company just goes, "No, that's too much to repair. Write it off." So why isn't this just being crumpled up and used as like kindling or something? Now,
the funny thing is, the museum has declined to release photos of the damage or reveal who will cover the cost. So it's like, oh, it's damaged. Can you show us the damage? No. Not going to do that. How bad can it be? Little tiny child fingers.
Yeah, they're like flat earthers. It's flat. Can you show us evidence? No.
I understand if the little child had just gone to the toilet and his hands were covered in shit, and you just like, but no.
I'm not sure I would understand that, but I get your point.
It probably improves the painting.
Somebody would have to improve the parenting. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yes, and leave a beautiful piece of art comment in the comment section.
Not too
Make
smeary,
sure it's worth. Yeah, $250,000 worth of art, please.
We take direct donations. It's just graffiti cover.